Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss UPSC CSC Prelims 2014 economy questions. Moving on and starting with the questions. The first question we have is the sales tax that you pay on the purchase of a toothpaste is a what kind of tax it is? Who imposes this tax and who collects this tax? First option is the tax is imposed by the central government. Second is the tax is imposed by the central government and collected by state government. Tax is imposed by the state government but collected by the central government. But the correct option is tax is imposed and collected by the state government. The tax which we are going to pay on purchase of toothpaste is imposed and collected by the state government. Next question is what is the meaning of venture capital? Venture capital is a term which is used when there are some entrepreneur or some companies who supports the small startups. They'll fund those startups and they fund these for long time. So these are like some angel investors also who funds the startups for long time. So first option is it is short term capital. No, it is not short term capital. Second is it is long term capital for the startups and which is provided to the new entrepreneur. This is correct. Next is fund provided to the industries at time of incurring losses. No, not at the time of losses, even at the time of beginning. Funds provided for replacement and renovation of industries. This venture capital is mainly provided for starting up the companies. Next is main objective of the 12th 5-year plan is. So main aim of this plan is inclusive growth. Inclusive growth would lead to equality in the country, would create equality so that equal distribution of the national income would take place. So it is mainly for the equality in the country. First option is inclusive growth and poverty reductions. Second is inclusive and sustainable growth. So it is not about sustainable actually. Sustainable and inclusive growth to reduce unemployment. Next is faster, sustainable and more inclusive growth. It is a good option which includes everything. Next, with reference to the balance of payment, which of the following constitutes current account? So we are going to look at the current account. We have balance of trade, the goods and services which we trade. So this is foreign assets. No. So let us say we are bringing FDI, FII or ECB. Then we have these under capital account. Then we have balance of invisibles. We have this under current account. Then we have SDRs which we can take from IMF. It is under capital account. So we have 1 and 3. Next question. The terms marginal standing facility rate. This MSFR rate is used when any commercial bank asks the RBI for the loans overnight. So in this case, banks would provide them the loan 0.1% of new demand and time liability. So, and at this time, their SLR, their statutory liquidity ratio can be used as a new demand and time liability. But the interest rate in case of marginal standing facility rate is repo rate plus 0.5. मार्जिनल स्टैंडिंग फैसिलिटी रेट पर कोई बैंक तब लोन लेता है आरबीआई से जब लोन की डिमांड ओवरनाइट बहुत अर्जेंट होती है एंड जो टोटल डिमांड होती है उसका 0.1% ऑफ एनडीटीएल आरबीआई इतना लोन देता है बट उसका इंटरेस्ट रेट रेपो रेट से 0.5 एडिशनल होता है. Obviously this is used under the banking operations. First is correct. Is facilities the beneficiaries can get from the services of business correspondent bank sathi. in the branchless area. So Bank Sathi has been started by the government to provide the services in the villages also. First option is it enables the beneficiaries to draw their subsidies and social security benefits even in the villages. Correct. It enables the beneficiaries in rural areas to make deposits and withdrawal easily. Yeah, both are correct. Next question is, in the context of Indian economy, which of the following are the purpose of statutory reserve requirement? This statutory reserve requirement would include the CRR, which RBI takes as a reserve of all the deposits in the banks, 4%. Then SLR, which banks have to keep in the bank, that is 18% of total their liability. So these all are included under statutory reserve requirements. So we need to look at that what is the main purpose why the RBI thinks of statutory reserve requirements. First option is to enable the central bank to control the amount of advances a bank can create. So actually bank lends all the money. Let us say they get a deposit of rupees 100 and they will lend the total amount. This is their deposit and they lend the total amount. So this would create some sort of risk for the banks if the depositor would come and ask for the money. That is why banks have to, the RBI have to control that how much amount of advances bank can give. This is the advance which bank is giving. A track on this. Next, this is correct. Next is to make people's deposit with bank safe and liquid. Yeah, this is what RBI do, that they ask to maintain a statutory reserve requirement so that whenever the depositors would come to the bank to ask for their money, they can get the money. Next is to prevent the commercial bank from making excessive profits. It is not the aim actually. They are not stopping them to make profits. They are doing something which is good for the banks and customers as well. To force the bank to make sufficient vault cash to meet the day-to-day requirement. They are not forcing the bank to have sufficient vault cash. They're asking them to keep some amount as CRR and SLR so that banking functionality can be good. So first and second is correct. Question is, if the interest rate is decreased in an economy, what will be the impact? Let us say interest rate is decreased. Interest rate is less money would be deposited in the bank. Why the money would be deposited less? Because as the interest rate is less, people would prefer to buy the things now. As if the interest rate of the money is less in the bank, then at that time interest rate of money in the market is also less. So it is like less inflation in the market. If inflation is less, people will start to consume more. So that is why if the interest rate is less, then they won't deposit their money into the bank and start to consume more. So looking at the options now, decrease the consumption expenditure. No, it would increase the consumption expenditure. Increase the tax collection of the government. No, it cannot increase the tax collection. Next is increase the investment expenditure in the economy. Yeah, it would increase the expenditure in the economy. Next is increase the total savings in the economy. No. In fact, they will start to withdraw their money from the bank or any place where they have deposited. C is correct. Next is, which of the following organizations bring out the publication World Economic Outlook? Actually, this World Economic Outlook defines the GDP growth of the country in the current year and also what can be the upcoming growth of the countries. This is presented by the IMF, International Monetary Fund. Next is, with reference to the union budget, which of the following are covered under the non-plan expenditure? So non-plan expenditure are various things like for the defense, and next option is for interest payments, because these are not something we are going to plan in our budget. So these are non-planned expenditure, salaries and pensions. There are some salaries of some posts which are not to be discussed while planning the budget. They are already granted as per the constitution. Subsidies, these are provided based on the need of the particular sector, say agriculture sector, industrial sector, or any other sectors. So all of them are correct. I hope you understand the questions well. Thank you for watching.